A wanted deposit man is still on the run. Rabies confirmed in Delhi. Hancock okays the Baptist Church subdivision. These are the headlines this week. Welcome to CatskillsAir. I'm Jessica Murphy, here with your latest local news. Joining me now is Matt Avitable, editor and publisher of the Mountain Eagle and Catskills Chronicle. Let's get right to the news. New York State Police is asking for your help finding a deposit man. 29-year-old Philip Briggs Jr. is wanted for questioning after an incident that happened in the early morning hours of Tuesday, August 4th. Briggs, pictured here, is a white male, approximately 5'6" and weighs about 130 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes, and police aren't releasing details of what happened, but it did occur on County Road 19 in Deposit. The road was closed between Kellett and Lumber Roads for a short time that morning due to police activity. If you see Briggs or know where he is, call New York State Police at 607-561-7400. A bat tested positive for rabies in Delhi last week. And Matt, this isn't the first sign of rabies in Delaware County this year, is it?
Not at all, unfortunately. One person was exposed to the rabies virus. This is the third animal in Delaware County to test positive for rabies in 2026. The incident happened, as you said, in Delhi. No animals were exposed, and the person who was exposed to rabies was ultimately given the vaccine. It's a special note of caution because once contracted, rabies, if left untreated, is 100% fatal.
Well, protect your critters, dogs, cats, and ferrets, because they can all get a free rabies vaccination in Delhi.
A rabies vaccination clinic will be available on August 12th. That's a Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. This is a great opportunity to bring in your animal. Keep in mind, with the couple of cases of rabies in the area, please, if you're not sure, your animal's not vaccinated, bring them in for a shot.
Hancock approves subdividing the Baptist Church property. Matt, this separates two key parts of the property, right?
Following up on something we talked about last week, the village board did review and approve that subdivision, as you mentioned. This was presented by Todd Jacobs of Tailwater Land Surveying for the separation in this historic property. The former Hancock Baptist Church and the Messenger Hall property at 232 Wheeler Street is now subdivided after this public hearing on July 30th. The village wants to preserve their ownership as a public facility. The hall winds up serving as the Hancock Senior Meal site and has been used as a Red Cross emergency center. The village said that they have a potential buyer for the 124-year-old church and the adjacent parsonage. The potential buyer would not be announced until a contract of sale is agreed upon.
The really big news in Stamford last week is that the school has a new mascot. He's local, strong, and a family guy. Matt, what symbol beat out all the other contenders?
Earlier this year, we talked about the bear quite a bit, and apparently it must have made somewhat of an impact in Stamford. They're choosing to end their longtime mascot of the Indian after pressure from the state, and now the Stamford Central School District is going to have the bear as their mascot. This follows a very similar process that happened in Schoharie, which replaced its mascot, also named the Indian, with the storm. The school district asked the community to determine what drives the school's history, traditions that they want to preserve. The superintendent, Glenn Hewitt, said that the students know that there's a new mascot and that they were involved throughout this process. He also thinks that this is an excellent symbol for students, noting that many Native societies describe the bear with power, resilience, and wisdom.
Very apropos to our area, I suppose. A Roxbury couple donated $25,000 to the Grow Roxbury Fund. This is pretty big news for the community. So Matt, tell us more.
$25,000 went to the Community Foundation for South Central New York on behalf of Roxbury for improvement for the educational programs at the school. The statement from the superintendent, Stacy Ward, said that the Grow Roxbury Fund expands the opportunities for both teachers and students by providing resources that inspire innovation and meaningful learning experiences. And keep in mind, there's an opportunity here for more people to get involved. There's a web link in the paper if you want to donate to help our educational programs.
And even more money is going to Delaware Valley Hospital. Sydney Federal Credit Union has committed $250,000 to sponsor a new primary care wing. The money will expand the hospital and bring together under one roof services such as primary and specialty treatments, as well as rehabilitation and behavioral health care. The goal is to improve access to health care by bringing it closer to home. The Delco DA is proud of one recent intern. Matt, tell us who gets the most recent district attorney shout out.
Ella O'Leary, an intern for the district attorney's office, got congratulations from District Attorney Sean Smith for her hard work. According to the district attorney's office, the summer intern moved to Delaware County 10 years ago, attends Delaware Academy in Delhi, and is entering her senior year in high school and hopes to pursue international politics when she enters into college next year. Ella's been at the district attorney's office the previous 2 summers. She's done a lot of work, including extensive court observation with the district attorney, as well as other of the ADAs. She completed legal research projects, helped draft legal documents. She's participated in meetings with domestic violence survivors and more. She's been very helpful. As a matter of fact, District Attorney Smith said of Ella that she is a professional and intelligent young lady that will undoubtedly go on to have a very successful career. Even though she's entering her senior year, her work matched or exceeded that of college and law school interns, and that she continually impressed us all with her professionalism. Congratulations to Ella.
The courts and cops were busy. Andy sealed a conviction in a DWI case that we've talked about before.
Little bit of closure in this case, as Chelsea Schultes, age 30, of Andes, pleaded guilty to driving while intoxicated, which is an unclassified misdemeanor. Her sentencing was adjourned for a year. In the meantime, she's going to be placed on probation supervision. At sentencing, the court will evaluate her conduct. This all stems from a March 21st incident in which a state trooper observed a vehicle disabled on what appeared to be a one-car motor vehicle accident, and Schultes was arrested.
2 young Walton women were arrested in Sydney after a sheriff's deputy spotted the driver who he knew had a suspended license. Following a search, both driver, 27-year-old Haley McCraby, and passenger, 21-year-old Elizabeth Bullis, were arrested on several drug and driving counts. 3 weeks after a complaint was signed, Marie Teresa Kermachi, 65, of Deposit, was arrested for harassment. Also in Deposit, a 57-year-old man was arrested. Robert Charlson was charged with violating an order of protection. All will appear in court at a later date. State park rangers were also busy. 3 rescues were carried out in 2 days, all on Hunter Mountain.
Yes, they certainly were busy. We have some pretty dramatic photos of a night rescue here. In the first one on July 25th, 2 rangers responded to a hiker feeling dizzy and lightheaded on Becker Hollow Trail on Hunter Mountain. The 73-year-old from New York City was nauseous, sweating, and refusing to eat or drink. When they arrived, he was improving. He wound up taking some electrolyte liquids and some food, and eventually they walked slowly with him until he reached the trailhead, and he refused any further medical treatment. In the second case, on July 26th, dispatch received a call about a severely dehydrated hiker near Catskills Fall. It was a person who only ate 1 granola bar during the whole day. They provided him a glucose packet and water. The person walked out on their own volition and refused further medical attention. The rangers remind people, if you're going to go out hiking, you want to eat more than just a granola bar. The last one, we had one where 3 rangers responded to a call for a hiker with a leg injury near the summit of Hunter Mountain. They reached the 20-year-old, stabilized the leg injury, patched them out in a wheeled litter. For part of the carryout, they employed a steep angle rope rescue, and when they reached the summit, they transferred care to the Lexington Fire Department and their UTV. And the firefighters drove the subject to the trailhead, and then the friends of the tiger brought the person to the hospital, and ultimately everything was clear by 3 a.m.
More cracks are showing on a beloved stone bridge in Hunter. Matt, what's the latest on the Platte Clove Bridge rehab?
Last week saw a lot of concern about flooding, and now we see a little bit more about our local bridges. This one is the Platte Clove Bridge, one that a lot of people know in the area. The Greene County Highway Department is looking at some really potentially necessary and significant structural repairs. County Roads head Scott Templeton was on hand at the Hunter Town Hall last week talking about the startup of the project that represents a lot more than just getting to where you need to be. With engineers, Smith talked about it. Traffic on this overpass has been limited to a single lane. If you've driven by there, you've known it. It can be kind of frustrating sometimes, and this is going to continue that way for at least part of next year. The bridge is really rugged in a way, but on the other hand, it needs the repairs. The bridge dates back to 1895, and it's had a lot of shifting over the last century and a third, and the county already moved the entire south parapet wall, top layer of the bridge, preventing it from slipping, and the bridge has been slowly but surely changing shape as the cold and the snow and all that traffic has affected it. We're going to be having more and more on this as this progress continues.
Big news for the Hobart Sausage and Brew Fest. A national country talent is coming to town. Matt, is it Taylor Swift?
Not this time. Maybe next year, but ultimately they're going to have Rollo White. Lorcan Otway wrote this one up, and it's really neat. So the Hobart Sausage and Brew Fest is one of the best local events in the area, and the Hobart Rotary does an amazing job. They did an even better job this year bringing in White. So there's just too much in here to talk about everything regarding him. He was cited by the Alternate Route magazine as having one of the best Americana albums of the year. The author of Pure Country called him impeccable, fantastically crafted, stands out from the crowd of other singer-songwriters, and there's actually quite a bit more in this week's paper. Bringing him in along with the food and the environment is going to be wonderful, and it's something that I know a lot of people look forward to every year.
The Mountain Eagle has a tasty feature this week, a one-of-a-kind deli with a very Italian spirit.
Absolutely. What has become a staple in Delhi is getting even better. Our own Lee Infield interviewed James Pizzo, the owner. Grew up in Queens. He'd help his mother cook in the kitchen. He has his family involved. Lee talked about these different items, and speaking as someone who has eaten their food before, and it's not up for money here. This is not a paid endorsement, but boy, some of that food is really good. And she talks about the different options, the grab and go section. They're going to find the specialty dishes that they can just grab and have for dinner, as well as the home cooked meals there at Pizzo's. Very good article and highly recommended.
More grants are going out. The Roxbury Arts Group announced its 2026 Smart Energy Art Grant.
The Roxbury Arts Group announced the grantees for the 2026 Smart Energy Art Grant. It's going to allow for the creation of new artwork and public engagement across Delaware County, as well as part of this theme of the One Common Clean Energy feature. It's going to raise awareness for clean energy programs and empower residents to reduce their energy use and their carbon footprint. So there's quite a few in here, but we're going to talk about several of them. Kinetic Commons, in partnership with the Packatack Farmers Market, is going to have a kinetic public sculptural installation created by local artist Mika Taga from reclaimed wood and salvaged metal that harnesses wind energy for movement, which the artist says serves as a reminder for how small individual actions can collectively create meaningful environmental impact. There's also going to be the Arkville Community Mural right on the Caboose building in Arkville, right near our office, actually. It's going to have a new mural painted exploring the theme of our common clean energy future. It's going to have imagery drawn from rural community resilience, environmental stewardship, and a whole bunch more. There's also going to be Eco Action Cards, which is an interactive eco solutions card deck designed in collaboration with 12 eco artists as a step-by-step creative how-tos for climate action. And all of this was made possible due to the Cornell Cooperative Extension's smart energy choices for the Southern Tier and is administered locally by Roxbury Arts Group. And there's a lot more in this week's paper about it.
Revolutionary War vets will be the topic at a Hobart Historical Society talk.
Everyone's invited to this August 12th talk. That's a Wednesday at 6 p.m. Village historian Karen Cuccinello is going to be talking about Revolutionary War veterans interred in the town of Stamford. She's been writing a series for the library and that we've been featuring in the newspaper, and it's going to include photos of grave sites and documents related to discover the lives of these veterans, and discussion is going to include where she found the documents, as well as more of the gravestones and those that were cleaned in time for the 250th. Free admission, make sure to make it.
Historically speaking, there'll be an auction at This and That Antiques this weekend. That's in Delhi, right, Matt?
The Delaware County Historical Association is holding this event August 15th at noon. They have a bunch of local art and other items as well. If you'd like to, it's going to be done in partnership with Matt Marchese, owner of This and That Antiques, along with Dave Brahma as the volunteer auctioneer. Preview begins at 11 o'clock. Food and drink is going to be provided by Pony's Restaurant. If you want to get your hands on some historic objects, arts, and more, it's going to help a good cause.
For more on these and other articles, pick up the Mountain Eagle or Catskills Chronicle. But Matt, before you go, give us a quick look at some articles coming up next week.
We're going to be looking at the county board as they get back into action. We're going to also have updates as a number of towns and villages are going to be discussing fall plans and, unfortunately, hate to say it, preparing for winter. And last but not least, we're going to be looking forward to fall sports. With school starting back up, some of the leagues are starting before students go back to school.
Matt, I haven't even been on summer vacation yet.
You better get a move on. I'm sorry to even use the W word. I'm not going to use the S word either, but unfortunately it's likely coming.
All right, but not for a really long time. But thanks for keeping us all informed and up to date. We will see you next week, Matt. Delhi Telephone Company held a meet and greet community event on Wednesday, August 5th. Some 40 vendors and services were on hand to share their interests. CatskillsAir, of course, had a table, and our world-famous sportscaster, John Bernhardt, was there to shake hands, kiss babies, pose for pics, and talk, what else? Sports. So now it's time for John. He's here with a look at college football, specifically the Syracuse University Orangemen.
A correction, there was no baby kissing, although I did shake hands with a giant stuffed moose. Taking a peek at the upcoming collegiate football season, Syracuse University's football program has been proving just how important the quarterback position is during their last two gridiron seasons. The Orangemen had a banner year in 2024 with Kyle McCord under center. McCord led Ohio State to an 11-win 2023 season before joining Syracuse in his final collegiate year. Playing for the Orange, McCord would set a single-season record with 34 touchdowns. Last fall, Syracuse got off to a sizzling start, winning 3 of their first 4 games with Stephen Angeli replacing McCord as the Orange quarterback. The victories included a shocker, a come-from-behind victory on the road at Clemson with Syracuse 17-point underdogs. At that point in the season, already throwing for over 1,200 yards with 10 touchdowns, Angeli led the Football Bowl subdivision in passing. But Angeli would go down with a season-ending injury. The Orange didn't win a single game after losing their top QB, dropping their final 8 games of the year. But during the first week of September, when the Orangemen opened their 2026 season against New Hampshire, Syracuse is optimistic once again, with Angeli ready and healthy back under center. But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fortifying their chances this season, should something happen to Angeli, Syracuse has found some able backup QB potential. Using the portal, Syracuse has added a capable backup quarterback, Omari Odom, who last year led Knesset State to a Conference USA championship. Odom threw for over 2,500 yards with 19 passing touchdowns and 7 more rushing TDs. Syracuse, who plays in the Atlantic Coast Conference, had one selection on this year's All-ACC preseason team, a fourth-year junior named Chris Peel. Peel, a projected first-round pick in the NFL draft, came to Syracuse on the portal from Georgia last year. A cornerback, Peel had 47 tackles last season for the Orange. A baseball note: one of the 11 prospects the New York Mets have brought on board in their trade deadline avalanche of moves, Sammy Sefora was named the South Atlantic League's Player of the Month in July. Sefora, who grew up a die-hard Met fan in Cortlandt Manor, a community in the Bear Mountain region of New York State, realized a boyhood dream joining the Mets system. Sefora, a middle infielder who was a high-A Greensboro Grasshopper in the Pittsburgh farm system before the trade, led the South Atlantic lead in July with 14 home runs, 35 runs batted in, a slugging percentage of .926, and an OPS of 1.305. Sefora is now playing for the Mets at the high A minor league level in Brooklyn. That's our local sports report for this week.
Thanks, John. Well, the Queens took over the Stamford golf course last week for a royal tournament. 70-some ladies, including myself, from around Delaware County area came to golf, have fun, and raise money. Last week was the 21st Queen of the Catskills golf tournament and the first time the group hit the ball for a cause. The new tradition starts with a check for $780 to the Catskill Mountain Little League. From the photos and my personal experience, I can say it was a wonderful, absolutely great event, and we all had a blast. I think I shot a 300, but it was a good time for a good cause. New York State hunting and trapping licenses and deer management permits, or DMPs, are now available, and there are a few changes for hunters to note. So check out the DEC website for license purchasing, as well as a Q&A on new hunting regulations on deers without antlers. Well, now let's see what Elizabeth has in arts and entertainment.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Focus on the Arts news spot. I hope you're having a wonderful creative day. The Catskill Mountain Foundation will have Trisha Brown Dance Company August 29th at 7 p.m. at the Orpheum Performing Center, Arts Center in Tannersville. These people perform with their bodies, with movement and emotion to express ideas. This is definitely a wonderful event to take your family to. Then Bushel, right in Delhi, Saturday, August 8th, opens a new exhibit, and it runs till September 13th. One Dreams Up Another, a two-person exhibition by Kelly Kane and Anthony Chase, both of them incredible artists. So at Bushel, there'll be refreshments, so make sure you get there. And if you don't get there for the opening, make sure you get there. It's September 13th. It runs to, so lots of time to go. Check it out. Women's Work Art Gallery in Poughkeepsie, still on exhibit. They have the 5 freedoms, very powerful messages that all these artists created. So you want to go and still check that out. It still runs to August 30th. with an artist talk from 1 to 3 on the August 30th last day of the exhibit. So head down there and check out the 5 Freedoms, an incredibly powerful bevy of artists doing amazing work. And the Women's Work Art Gallery has an open call for artists called Arcane Bodies. The deadline to apply is August 30th. It runs from August 2nd to the 25th. So this will be a wonderful, powerful show. Arcane Bodies is using the idea and symbolism from tarot cards. So this is a wonderful open call. Arcane Bodies, deadline to apply, August 30th. You can go online to Woman's Work Art Gallery and see their past events, their current events, and what's coming. So good luck. If you submit your artwork, do it as soon as you can. Create something new or find something you've already created. So thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Get out there and enjoy. Brian Foley, aka The Amazing Great, shows off his terrific treasure of tricks at the Stanford Historical Society. His performance, Monologue, short for Magic Monologue, is magic and illusions for thinking people. So expect to be entertained and enlightened with multiple mentalism and mind-bending feats. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. Margaretville's Fair Street Bridge reopened on Monday, August 3rd. Delaware County road crews removed most of that really large fallen tree that came to rest against the bridge after floating downstream. The root ball is still in the water, but is not impacting the bridge at this time. Is more rain on the horizon? Oh, I hope not. Or will we have something sunny to smile about? I sure hope so. Here's our weekly weather forecast.
Heidi-ho, friends and neighbors. It's Lori with CatskillsAir, bringing you your weekly weather update for the beautiful, pristine, so highly wacky and unpredictable in weather, Catskill Mountain region. And folks, it's unpredictable everywhere across the country, across the world. And it looks like for the week ahead, we're going to have a little bit of everything, kind of but the kitchen sink. So let's give it a go and check out what's happening in the Catskill High Peaks for your work week in weather.
On Monday, we can expect partly cloudy skies early with the chance of isolated, scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Temps are going to top out in the low 80s, winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10, with gusty winds during some of these storms. Overnight, we have scattered, isolated thunderstorms with cloudy skies. Temps are going to fall back to the low to mid 60s, with winds out of the west at 5 to 10, but with gusty winds with the storms. On Tuesday, we have cloudy skies in the morning with the chance of isolated scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Temps are going to top out in the upper 70s with winds out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10. Overnight, a few passing showers and then cloudy skies after midnight. Temps are going to dip back to 60, winds out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10. On Wednesday, we have a mix of sun and clouds, slight chance of a late afternoon shower. Temps are going to top out in the upper 70s, winds out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have partly cloudy skies. Temps are going to dip back to the upper 50s. Winds light and variable. On Thursday, we have partly cloudy skies in the morning with a chance of an isolated scattered afternoon shower and thunderstorm. Temperatures topping out in the mid-70s. Winds out of the west-southwest at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have showers before midnight, turning to partly cloudy after midnight with temps dipping back to the mid to upper 50s. Winds out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10. And on Friday, we have morning clouds with clearing out for the afternoon with lots of sunshine. Temps are going to top out in the mid-70s. Winds are going to be on the gusty side out of the west-northwest at 10 to 15. And overnight, we have a few passing clouds. Temps are going to dip back to the low to mid-50s. Winds out of the north-northwest at 5 to 10.
As I bid you farewell, remember that weather and temperature changes on a dime, especially in the beautiful Cats. Be sure to join me for your weekend weather update because we got a doozy heading your way. So see you then from somewhere in the Cats.
That's it for CatskillsAir News. If you see something out there, let us know. I'm Jessica Murphy. Bye for now.